if I'm pronouncing that name right, but that is the deck. It's more of an aggro druid deck. It's got some interesting card choices, and we'll see how it plays out here. Alright, so Druid here could be a couple of things. Token Druid, mid-range Druid, or perhaps even a mirror match. I like Flame Juggler to start off. Mark of the Wild, not so hot. Power of the Wild is okay. You get the 3-2. Let's go ahead and ship these here. The +1/+1 to pump the team is generally going to be a better use of that card, I feel. So we could coin Innervate and with a Flame Juggler, hopefully kill off one of the 1/1s. Druid of the Saber is a 3-2. Seems like an okay play. Or we could just Hero Power, although that seems like a waste of the coin and Innervate. I think in this situation I might just coin Flame Juggler. We'll hold on to the Innervate for a little bit. So we hit one of the 1/1s, which is exactly what we wanted there. So in this case, we could Innervate out Savage Combatant, which is a pretty strong turn 2 play. Just trying to think of ways that it could die. He has Wrath, another Living Roots. We are going to kill off the 1/1 here. Yeah, I think that seems like a fine play. This is also my first time ever playing this deck, so granted I could be playing it quite wrong. If for some reason he can't kill Savage Combatant here, we set up a pretty nice play where we can destroy his Darnassus. I'm mostly fine with that because that's why we were going to spend our turn anyway. So our only options here are to Hero Power or to play Druid of the Saber. We can trade both of them off into the Keeper of the Grove, but that doesn't seem all that amazing to me. So we'll go ahead and stealth it up. He almost certainly trades off, or well, not trades off, but just outright kills our Flame Juggler. Hello, Mr. Lim. How are you doing this evening? So with Keeper of the Grove here, we can trade board, which sets up a decent. At least we have board presence then. We could also leave the 2/2 alive and hit face for 3. which forces him to make the trade. That leaves us open to some cards, though. Like if he has a Mark of the Wild or something of that nature. We'll go ahead and leave the 2/2 up and just see what happens here. I'm doing quite well. Just started playing tonight. Seeing if we can make rank 5 by the cutoff here. Okay, so we did get in the 3 extra damage there, which is pretty much exactly what we wanted. Innervate Dr. Boom seems absolutely like our best line. I don't really like getting in the 2 on the Azure Drake because that doesn't do too much for us. We might as well get 2 into face. This hits up a pretty formidable board state, though. At this point, it does seem like he is playing pretty much an exact mirror of what we are playing, so the chances of him having Big Game Hunter in that case would be slim to none, because our list does not run it. And we haven't seen anything like Wild Growth, which would indicate it is more of a mirror. So he's going to go with a swipe Azure Drake plan. That worked out quite well for us. Those bombs hit exactly how we wanted them to. Six mana is a bit awkward because we can't really. We're going to be 1 mana short anyway. We do this, so I think getting an extra card off Azure Drake is probably our best route here. If there's some way that this game goes longer, we're going to want that extra card. And there we go. All right. So that went pretty well. Drawing double Innervate there was definitely a boon. Trying to figure out where the dog went. I don't know. It's kind of terrifying. This could be a couple different types of hunter. It's almost certainly going to be face or hybrid, though, but there are beast hunter decks running around. This for us seems mostly just like a straight up race. I'm not a fan of innervating Flame Juggler here because we might be able to get extra value out of it next turn if he plays something else. If we can break the shield here, that's probably our best bet, although Darnassus Aspirant sets us up for a potential swipe next turn. However, at this early in the game, swipe's not going to be all that great. There we go. That's exactly what we wanted. In this case... I do like trying to control the board as much as possible here. We can certainly kill the 1/1 with hero power, but that doesn't let us play anything else. We play Darnassus Aspirant, and he has Mad Scientist left up. It leads to a potential board wipe next turn if he hits Explosive Trap. Flame Juggler is only really good if it hits the 1/1. If it hits the 2/2, it's doing really nothing for us, and Face is also really doing nothing for us. In this case, I think we're just going to hero power, kill Mad Scientist. So now we can attack and trigger the, if it is Explosive Trap, we can trigger that. If it's Freezing Trap, we might be able to get a little tiny bit of value off of it. But we are setting up here for its turn 5 Doctor Boom. Go trigger the trap. Now we can get our 2/2/2s out there. He does, of course, get to kill one of them with Eaglehorn Bow, but that's not that big of a deal. It's better than him going face with it, honestly. We're still set up next turn for Dr. Boom. Which hopefully with Dr. Boom we can get a quick race going. So we're going to leave one of his 1/1s up. But really that's not the worst thing in the world. With double swipe in hand too, if the board should happen to get out of hand, we can definitely clear that. Mark of the Wild is quite strong here, but it's also strong later turns. I'd rather just get this Dr. Boom going. It's possible that he can kill command. Let's see, kill command. You'd have to use bow, unless he has some other damage spell. But if he goes kill command, quick shot, or something like that, really I'm fine with trading the 2 cards for R1. So I guess he is just trying for a pure damage race here. This does allow us to take board control though fairly easily. It's going to be a hero power maybe. Yeah. So in this case we can mark the wild our Dr. Boom here, and we can trade off our board with pretty much everything he has, and then Mark of the Wild. Now the question is, do we want to swipe here? I can trade into the Haunted Creeper, then swipe, which would eliminate everything, and then just start going face with everything. Actually, I like that line quite a bit. I really don't see much of a way that he can come back from this. So with swipe in hand, we have lethal. I mean, it's just that simple. We don't even really need to fuss around with boom bots or any of that jazz. And with the swipe, double swipe, innervate, Dr. Boom on turn 5, he's still got us down to 6 damage. So again, mid-range token or mirror. There's a fair chance that every one of these is going to be a mirror match because I know that deck has certainly risen in popularity in the last day. Here, I like coin Darnassus because then we can play Living Roots and a Druid of the Saber next turn. It might be a little greedy, but it sets us off on a good foot. Wrath there was pretty unfortunate, but not the worst thing. Now we can just set up a stealth. Wrath would lead me to believe he's playing something like token or mid-range. And I'm fine with him hero powering there, which that again leads me more to believe he's on something like mid-range. Just try and get in as much damage here as we can. This board is somewhat prone to swipe, but at least we get one guy out of it. Which, if that's what he's targeting, might be it. Yep. We are running combo as well, so the more damage he takes, the closer we get to just being able to combo him out. I'm expecting something like Keeper of the Grove or maybe a 3-drop plus hero power. Kind of like the plan of just continuing to go face. Let's see, if we do 7 this turn, that'd be 18. Presumably he has a way to kill both next turn. 18. 6 next turn. I like just going face here. Double swipe from him early is not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not the worst either. We're definitely setting up for a turn 9 combo kill though if we can draw our Savage Roar by then. We also have to assume he has taunters. Force of Nature is going to clear most of our board here. I believe that's just going to leave us with some 1/1s. Oh no, we'll have 4 power on board. Or we will just have 2 power on board. There's no real use in getting Force of Nature here. It's just 8 damage, puts him to 7. Yeah, it's much better just hold on to it when we know we have lethal. Question is whether I want to keep her for 2 or just hold it up for silence. I think the silence on a Taunter would be significantly better. It's kind of a waste of a turn, though, just to do that. We could swipe here for the 8. And then if he doesn't have a Taunter, we just have lethal next turn. It's extremely greedy, though. Let's try it out. Well, that's a good game. Another Druid? Alright. Let's go ahead and check and see if we played him already. Nope. We have not. So keeping the early drops, of course. Just so we can put the pressure on. Living Roots is just such a versatile card. Innervate Noxtrom is not the worst thing in the world by any stretch of the imagination. Clears off a 1/1 here. You can keep that shade going. We're not too concerned with it at this point. At 4/4 he might start attacking with it because it allows him to 2 for 1. Clearing our board here seems quite good for him. I like charging in here. We have a pretty unfortunate hand though, where we really can't do much. So hopefully we can just keep drawing live. Well, we have combo in hand. However, we're nowhere near lethal. So I think swipe on the Azure Drake just to clear the board here is fine. It's not the best use of swipe, but really in the Druid mirror matches though, we're not going to really get a whole lot of value out of it. Unless they do have something like Living Roots up. I have to say the last two draws have been drawn pretty hot. I believe 14 is the magic number we're looking for here. However, we are pretty far behind. Because you can definitely just keep controlling board here while hitting us. We do have a good little 13 damage cushion here, but that could fade very quickly. Another swipe off the top would be pretty hot in this situation. All right. Very few outs now. Let's see, so he's got 6, 11, 13, 15, 19. 19 on board. I mean, we can go Living Roots here and just hope he ignores it. I don't think there's a very high chance of that, but I suppose it's worth a shot. There isn't really much of a better use for it. It either soaks up some damage or he ignores it. in which case we can just get the free win. We go face just in case we can get the miraculous swipe off the top, in which case I think we have lethal anyway. No, we'd be short man on that. Yeah, we would need 11. It's not even possible. Oh, he just has lethal here anyway. Alright, first loss of the night. 3-1 so far, not too bad. Alright, first match against this deck. It's most likely secrets just because of the last 2 days. That seems like it's all I can ever play. I'm fine with keeping Power of the Wild here because it is at least that 3-2. Force of Nature obviously goes. Savage Combatant is interesting. Yeah, we'll go ahead and keep it. We really wanted something like an Innervate or a Darnassus Aspirant there. Yeah, so we're on Secret Paladin. Coin Power of the Wild seems okay. It forces pressure on the Secret Keeper. However, I'm not all too keen on it. We may want to hold the coin for a turn 3 swipe. I think we just pass here and see how this rolls. 4 power on board with a secret. Secret could really be anything. So I think we run out the Flame Juggler, hoping it hits the Abusive Sergeant. Gives us a bit of board presence and allows us to swipe next turn. Oh, that's the worst place it could have gone. Because if it hits a Secret Keeper, he doesn't have another secret. We could force a trade. In this case, I kind of like swiping. We can do 2 damage to the Knife Juggler and hero power the Secret Keeper. That seems fine as well. Yeah, let's go for that. That was not exactly where we wanted to go with that. I don't know how natural that was. I think that was just more boneheaded. Alright, well, we're in some serious trouble now. There isn't really too much we can do to stop this onslaught. We can Edis power with coin, since he may not be able to kill both, and then we can at least kill the Secret Keeper next turn. We are going to go to 4 in that situation, but I think it's really our only option. Muster's fine here because the plan was to swipe. However, we're so far behind that there isn't much we can do. he can just weapon us twice, and there really isn't too much we can say or do about that. The only out to that would be Mark of the Wild. It's kind of an odd play, but again, there really isn't anything we have to say about it. We had a strong start. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back is certainly not bad. It's not going to get us to Legend anytime soon, but that's fine by me. In this case, we're just mulliganing everything. So we have a good curve to start out here. It's an interesting start and rather unfortunate for the Living Roots plan that we have. However, if he does hit one, we have the Stealther. It's rather unfortunate because this is going to kill our stealth. We could pull some Living Root shenanigans. If we Living Roots the Direwolf, we can kill off his other guy and keep our board. In which case we could Mark the Wild to get in an extra 2 damage. However, that we do have the combo in hand, or kind of combo anyway. This way we at least get to keep our board. Question is whether we want a hero power with the sapling. I think that's better. Certainly more damage over the long term. It's a lot of work for a Divine Shielded Taunter, but still seems quite strong. Of course, not quite so strong against an Owl, but he would have played that. And here we can swipe, wipe his board, continue the damage train. Let's see, do we have enough? 9 mana. No, we're 1 mana short of being able to do both those things. He has very few outs in this situation. All right. So that wasn't a typical Zoo deck. That had some interesting card choices in it. But the game obviously went quite well. Sitting at 4-2 so far. Not too bad. So there is a Dragon Priest deck running around. I've seen some lists for Aggro Priest. I mean, they could be a variety of Priest decks. Saving the 2-drop Savage Roar. We don't really want this early. Swipe, I don't see as being overly necessary. If he is on some sort of Aggro Priest, we may regret that, but okay, so this would be Dragon Priest. So I'm fine with Coin, Aspirant. There's certainly a number of ways it dies, but if it doesn't, it sets us pretty far ahead for the early game. I'm fine with him going face there as well. So there isn't much value in the way of attacking that directly. I think we just keep pushing face in this situation. Okay. Rather unfortunate, but not much we can do about it. We can make a 4/5 here. We can make a 4/5 and then charge, which would eliminate that there. However, I just realized that does not actually eliminate that guy. So I'd much rather kill a 3/1 here, because if he continuously draws this card, he's just going to bury us under card advantage. However, our Panther almost certainly dies. There aren't really too many other lines there. We could have Savage Roar to kill the Whelp. It seems like a waste of a perfectly good Savage Roar. It's fairly good. Good creature to pop out. Okay, so we can very nearly clear board here. We could clear the entire board if we wanted to play Savage Roar. Seems like our best route. Just gotta make sure to do it in the right order. This sets us up with a Savage Combatant plus Inspire trigger next turn. He can kill the combatant. He would, however, have to use both cards unless he has some sort of damage in hand. I don't see much value in just making a 3/2. So we might as well do some damage on... We can set this up so that we can at least kill it next turn. Depending on whether he hero powers or not to heal it up. Is this hours or all minutes? All minutes. He has to be holding a dragon for that, which I'd say there's a fair chance that he has that. There's no way for us to clear board here that I see. Yeah. Oh, that's not true. Clearing the board there seems fine because we can Dr. Boom here. See how many more high-powered dragons he has. Okay, so he's running a bit low. And with this board state, if he doesn't clear it, there is a chance that we can Savage Roar or Force of Nature for the win. Now in this situation, we could kill the 3/6. We Force of Nature plus Savage Roar. That's 12. That's a 12. 12, 15. It's only 18 damage. So not quite lethal. In that case, I like just playing low Theb. We can hero power here as well. Make sure this has no death rattle. If he has no other way to boost damage, we still end up with a Dr. Boom in play, which is quite good and quite lethal. Ugh. No good. Gives him a free card. Alright, with it. And this is very lethal. Combo, so good. See if we can get this next win for some bonus stars. Certainly help. This hand is pretty good. I don't know what else we would really want instead of Keeper of the Grove. Yeah, there isn't really too much. One of the sisters would be okay, but I'm fine with keeping this. Obviously, he's thinking if he wants to coin something out. If he had Living Roots, I imagine he'd just play that on the first turn. We launched the rocket. Can't lose. Just keep playing on curve, doing some damage. It's going to be our best line. Okay, alright. Not too much we can do or say about that. In which case, we play Edis, she gets killed, and that's about the way she goes. Edis. Okay, interesting. Now we can innervate Force of Nature and absolutely wipe or clean its board. In this situation, that almost seems like the best play. Because if we don't do that, the Keeper of the Grove here removing Taunt isn't really all that beneficial, because we would just kill it with the 3/2 anyway. So Force of Nature allows us to clear the board. Not as cleanly as we would have liked to have done it, since we put 6 power on the board. He had 6 toughness, but oh well. It was a pretty good draw there, because I'm not too keen on playing Lotheb this early. There aren't really any spells that he would want to play with an empty board on turn 5. This also allows for Keeper of the Grove plus hero power next turn. Piloted Shredder would be pretty nice, or that is considerably better, actually. Just keep that train rolling. He's already used 1 swipe. The likelihood of having a second is pretty insignificant at this point. And if he uses swipe as a 1-for-1, that's really the best value we can ask for. You can Living Roots here, or not. Interesting. If we Flame Juggler and do not hit Blackwing, we can't hero power kill it. However, if we Keeper of the Grove do 2, we can definitely kill it. I think we want to take the safe route. Yeah. See how he wants to handle this. I'm sure he's not too keen on hero powering to kill the Savage Combatant. I don't think he has much of a choice though either, especially if he doesn't have any other direct damage in hand. I did not see the pass turn coming there. That's fine. Keeper off the top? No. Is that lethal though? We can Savage Roar, plus Hero Power, plus Keeper killed this. Yeah. Right. Excellent. And we get some bonus stars out of the deal. Alright, I'm going to take a bit of a break here. I will be back in just a moment. I know it. Yeah. All right. Keep on trucking here. We got a pretty good win rate in the first hour. Check some stats here. 75% so far. So this is almost certainly mid-range totem. So I like keeping the Light Bane as well as the Darnassus because it's a pretty good curve. Savage Roar and Mark of the Wild, not going to be so strong. However, we do have the combo. Now let's go ahead and hold on to that. So we can swipe on turn 3 if we need to. So that gives us a second and third turn play. We do get the Mana Crystal as well. So let's go ahead and coin that out right now. Put some early pressure on because we can, if he has no answer to it immediately, if he doesn't have a Rockbiter weapon or something like that, we can play a 3-drop and then maybe even combo into it. So he does have the Rockbiter. And the Zombie Chow. Pretty solid second turn, I'd say. I don't see much point there in going for the Zombie Chow. Just causes us to take more damage. Wow. Alright. So we can play Light Bane here. Actually, I kind of like playing Dark Bane more. He's almost certainly going to kill it on immediately, and then we can swipe next turn, hopefully for hopefully at least getting a 2-for-1 out of it. Might be a little difficult though. Another Totem Golem. I'm falling pretty far behind. Seems like a fine trade for us. Zombie Chow, yeah. Here we kill off one of the totems with swipe. But that sets up the turn 5 play of Light Bane plus Mark of the Wild. We can't keep her of the grove, but that really only kills the one totem. Doesn't do too much for us. This way we can, at any point, we can hero power his totem.
Chloe. What? Don't pee. I swear to God.
So if...
Chloe. You okay?
If we Light Bane plus Mark of the Wild, it makes it a 5/6 with Divine Shield, which means he would have to kill off his Totem Golem and then get that to a 1. I think that's probably our best play. Yes. I don't know. Currently only one person watching, so. Yeah. I can edit it.
I think I heard the man heard me say I was going to push up the ovaries.
Whatever. This is not a clean stream.
Hey, Chloe, do.
This is for mature audiences only.
That's good. Alright, I'll say it to you now. My mouth. I know.
Just wait till the weekend, adults only, drunk streams. It's going to be great. Get some Counter-Strike or TF2, a couple beers, couple people. Him roping here would be pretty optimal. Okay, okay. Alright, well. Seems pretty okay for us, because here we can hero power, kill his taunter, get 5 damage in, Keeper of the Grove silence his totem carver. I think that's probably our best line. Question is if we want to innervate the 3-2 here. Allows us to kill this totem off. Yeah. This is thankfully a tighter game than it was shaping up to be. Hex is pretty bad there. Saves us 3 damage, but clearly not what we wanted. Roping again, missing 10 damage. Probably still end up losing. So we can hero power. We can kill off both of the taunters. Azure Drake gets us an extra card. Not certain that Lotheb does much here. It is a 5 power to kill off his 6/5. I think I like that a little bit better actually than the extra card. Let me go ahead and shut this door. So we can kill off the 6/5, however, we're still taking 11 damage next turn. We can see what we draw off Drake. I don't know that there's too many cards that really help us in this situation. 3 damage is pretty good. That allows us to kill his Shredder. And potentially here, we'll definitely hero power, but we got to see what comes. See what comes out of the Shredder here. Hyena, that's unfortunate because we can't kill it. Doing 1 damage to anything here is pretty loose because his totem just heals. We're playing from behind here most of this game, which is unfortunate. Started with a the original, his totemic, whatever, making a 3/4. Roping here would be quite fortunate for us. He has been pretty good at missing things. Well, we might just get lucky with this one. Let's see what we can draw off the Drake. Savage Roar really does nothing for us here. We might as well just keep clearing here if he does happen to come back. As an added bonus, we have lethal. Oh, it's nice to get some freebies every once in a while. Alright, 2 wins away from rank 5, which was the goal for this evening. You gotta keep it reasonable. Another druid. Facing the golden druid, so there's basically no way we can win here.
Talk to yourself. That's good.
It's because I'm crazy.
He's going mental.
I know your tricks, Druid. I know you don't have any ways of triggering that. May as well go tit for tat, though.
I like this.
Indeed. Oh, of course. He did have the trigger. Let's see if he decides to clear our board here. Yep. Alright, so go ahead and silence. Pass it up. That could have ended much worse for us. So we can Druid of the Saber charge here. We could also Flame Juggler, see which it hits in hero power. Like that line a little bit more. I don't think there was much difference either way. Seems a bit loose. In this situation, we get in Living Roots here. We can Druid of the Saber charge into his Keeper of the Grove. It's 1-for-1s on both ends, but we get to keep our board. That would give us 3 mana up. We could make a 3/2 then of our own. Follow that up with a Dr. Boom next turn. We can also play Azure Drake, get a card, and then put 3 damage on his Panther. I think I like just clearing the board here more. This puts us in a fairly good spot. He clears our board, but we follow it up with a Boom. Mr. Boom himself.
When are we into the camera? Was that a huge delay? Oh,
Yeah.
There it is. We need lots of viewers because they're always good. Where's the dog?
That's right, we got the special Chloe cam this evening. Probably a fixture of every evening.
Yeah. I want to see the dog.
We'll be the mascot.
Yeah.
Innervate Savage Roar, which is not lethal. But it's enough racing damage that we might be in trouble. Especially if they have swipe in hand, we just lose here. Play it out though for the lulls.
This is not laughing at it.
Or just double force of nature, you know. Whatever works.
Yeah, correct.
Alright. So either mid-range or secrets, most likely. Double with Druid of the Saber isn't the greatest. It's okay, but most of the times it's just going to be a trading card. Swipe is certainly much better. He may, in fact, just attack into the Dark Bane here. I do like breaking the shield on this. If he doesn't, then we have swipe up if we need it. This also is certainly not secrets, I don't believe. Swipe is pretty good here. Let's see if he kills our aspirant though, which puts us a turn off on swipe. And he will not. Maximum value. Oh, well, of course the weapon gets us. Not a fan of playing Druid of the Saber there. Having just a 3-2 isn't the most beneficial, and if we 2-1 charge, we're just spending a card for no real point. Now, I believe the mechanics of this... No, they're permanently 2-2s, so disregard. Not the best swipe. Not the worst, though, either. Five is going to be a bit kind of tough to kill. Especially since we can't kill it this turn. We can hero power, charge in, kill the other one, and only take 5 next turn. I think that's our best line. Because when we can keep her the Grove Mark or Force of Nature to wipe. We are certainly in some trouble. So we can keep her Mark here, keep her do 2 to the Knife Juggler Mark so that he would have to attack in with both to kill it off. If we keep her Druid of the Saber, that doesn't quite do much for us. Let's go ahead and do that. We're still significantly far behind. And there's a number of cards that just ruin our play here. So how'd the fantasy football draft end up?
I got
We can Loatheb Mark of the Wild. Gives us a big taunter, but doesn't do much else. We can keep her the Grove, kill this here. Puts us down to potentially 2. We can Force of Nature and wipe the board. Seems like our best line here. We're just playing not to lose at this point, though, which is not exactly where we want to be.
There's not too many to skip.
Manning, Johnson, Sanders. Calvin Johnson, Manuel, Sanders. That's a pretty solid lineup there. Marshawn Lynch, Matt Forte, Jason Witten. Witten's going to be disappointing.
I mean, most tight ends.
He was the bane of my existence last year, so.
I mean, most tight, like, there's only like 2 or 3 good tight ends that I can think of. Like, Jimmy Graham, like
Yeah.
Greg
Oh,
Olson,
yeah.
like.
It's definitely a weak.
Yeah, it's never a good position.
Nope.
When Tony Gonzalez was there, it was kind of cool. But
We gotta find some way to win here. Sludge Belcher's unfortunate. Just keep fighting the good fight. Murloc Knight could potentially get out of hand. So we are taking 6 next turn from Murloc Knight. But we followed up with a pretty decent board. And we lose. Constantly playing from behind caught up with us. Alright, so after a good start, we've got 2 losses in a row here. Living Roots is clearly where we want to be at to start turn 1. However, no 2-drop is unfortunate. Living Roots against an aggressive deck, so is pretty strong. We could have 3-3'd there. However, I like weighing our options, seeing what he plays.
somehow joined a. I somehow joined a public league by accident, I think, and I drafted some people.
What?
Drafted. So I have. Yeah, I don't know how this happened. That's pretty fun.
Fortunately, no real good options there on turn 3. We could have Market the Wild. However, it just ends up trading basically the same way. And in this case, we get to swipe as a 2-for-1, which isn't. Well, not really a 2-for-1, a 1 1/3. Sets up Azure Drake next turn. Coming out with the Murloc Knight. We could taunt up, make a 4/5 here. In which case he doesn't attack, or he finds some other way to kill it. True Silver. I think getting the card and seeing where we're at next turn is probably a better plan. Savage Combatant opens things up for us next turn as well. Woof. Well, this turned sour in a hurry. Charge was very unfortunate. Ugh. Well, we can Combatant, Hero Power, kill his old Murkai. If we Force of Nature, we can kill Murloc Knight in a 1/1. In this case, he would have to spend his 1/1 and the 3/3 to kill our Combatant, unless of course he has True Silver. Wow, alright. Yeah, just pull the best Murloc twice, man. And the True Silver for the rub-ins.
You must suck at this game.
I'm pretty bad. Even if we play Lotheb with Mark of the Wild here, he can True Silver, kill with 3/3 and do 8 to us. Potentially more, because he would certainly make a Murloc. Not seeing really any options here. This line certainly isn't the best. It's not optimal, but it's the line I'm choosing. Oh man. Yep, scoop phase.
How's that working out for you?
Not so well. Alright, so from here I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. We'll have to end the season on a kind of coming up a little short there. But thanks for sticking around. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at the Glockjaw. I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com/Glockjaw. You can always subscribe to the channel. I stream, this is only the second stream so far, but I will stream most nights. Various games. Lately it's been Hearthstone, but I also play some Heroes of the Storm, Counter-Strike Go, as well as many other indies and stuff I pull off Steam. So with that, have a good night.